Some things never change. They remain static, suspended in the never-changing world. Their evolution is stunted, and they are reviled for their stagnancy and lack of any redeemable sophistication that is exhibited by the creative among us. You may be sure as to which camp you personally fall into, convinced that you are wholly formed and continually adapting to the stimuli that surrounds your everyday being. But still, you have doubts. You suspect that your clothes may no longer be as fashionable as they once were, that your hairstyle is so yesterday, and that your values have become quaint and old-timey. It has crept up on you, and now, as you stare at the husk in the mirror, you realize that you are no longer vital, no longer alive. You are simply no longer. In your final moments, a question forms in your mind, a final query from your fogged-up memory. Today's question asks, what happens at the end?
When you were 5 years old in kindergarten and were asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? If you rushed to put up your hand straight like a flagpole shouting, Miss, Miss, excitedly, thinking, please pick me, and then saw all the blank, disturbed faces of your classmates when you proudly shouted, a goddess, then this could be considered normal. It was dismissed as childish whimsy. When you were 6 years old at home, at dinner, and were asked to thank the Lord for the food put before you, if you thought that the Lord was dead because you were receiving ghostly messages spelt out in your hula hoops, then this could also be considered normal. It was dismissed as an active imagination. But when you were 7 years old and returned from a stay at Granny's, you found your house full of people, relatives and family friends dressed smartly and whispering to each other. You were confused. You were perplexed why your mum and dad weren't there, and why you were being driven in the back of a large black limousine slowly through the streets to the churchyard. You were sitting in the back seat holding your grandpa's hand as he said tearfully to you, it wasn't your fault, my darling. Later you thought, why am I leaving the church with these serious-looking strangers? As you waved goodbye out of the back of the van to the ever-shrinking figures of your sobbing grandfather and twin sister, who are standing by the lynch gate in a mournful light of a March Monday morning. Your sister is waving and your grandfather has his head in his hands, and his walking stick is lying on the floor impotent, like an R in a goose month. As the van trundled down the hill, you were thinking, I didn't want Mummy and Daddy to eat the haunted food, and you remembered finding the magic white powder in the kitchen cupboard, which would make the ghosts go away. If you thought all this, then you, my friend, are in the Gallatry Secure Home for Disturbed Girls again. Thank you, Eustace! Welcome back, dearest listeners. You always come back to me, don't you? Like a disheartened lover who has found that the grass wasn't greener on the other side. But no matter, I am still here, and I knew it wouldn't last. The other side wouldn't do that thing you like. You know, our secret thing. Anyway, I'm down here in the vinyl vault holding an empty rum bottle in one hand and a crow globe in the other, trying to get over a headache, hangover, hell sent from cheap hooch. I'm befuddled, bemused, my mind is skewed and the place is upside down. What happened last time we were together? I remember drifting off to the Gelug monks. Thank you, Gelug monks. I remember now. According to my production notes, thank you, there was some kind of incident down at the council offices. Let's go over to the fearless, unflappable, roving reporter Jenny Jennings and get an update. What has come to pass, can I ask?
Well, it's really kicking off down here, I can tell you. The rocker monks from the Goose Temple are smashing up the council buildings, headbutting it repeatedly to that detuned riff. The police and the council dog handlers are standing back, seemingly letting it all happen. It's strange. Chief first to conduct his investigations into civil disorder with a baton charge. Remember the zombie riot back in '99?
Who could forget? What a party. So could you tell us what's the condition of the council offices?
Please repeat that. It's noisy down here.
Could you state what's the state of our offices of state?
Well, the windows are all gone, the reception area is receiving more violent anger from the public than usual, and the welcome to Galatry sign is in bits, hanging forlornly above the steps, now reads El Togawi.
El Togawi, Jenny? I like it. Is that Portuguese for Semper Iardum? What are the monks doing now?
Well, the monks are in the building and systematically going from floor to floor. There are pieces of paper fluttering down from the empty window frames, official documents scattered all over the rubble and broken glass. It's as if they're looking for something. It won't be long before they get to the executive chamber on the 13th floor, where the mayor and her boardroom table reside. What secrets could lie under that table? Hang on, there's something happening. It's all gone quiet. Even the special effects crows are silent. The monks are all congregating on the steps. A single figure is stood on a pile of rubble with a document in his hand. It looks like he's going to address the crowd. Bon Jovi, guavers, wazzers and reporters. The Wevwin Wedwin seeks your attention. It is now the dawn of a new age here in Galatry. I have waited my entire life for this glory. This rebirth, the reformation of the relationship between the individual and the state. Let me ask you two questions. Do you think the government is a force for good? As an individual, every interaction you have with the state has poor outcomes. If you need a service, you have to prove your entitlement and then wait for this service to either not be delivered at all or to be a half job. Half-truth. If you need benefits, you need to jump through hoops, again waiting and being treated like scum. If you don't beg like a dog for the squats from the table. If you work or own a business, they will consider you a criminal, demanding taxes from you as if you were doing them a favour, having spent what they think you have already earned on vainglorious edifices of fancy, but the masses still queue to vote. Safety in numbers. Do you think that religion is a force for good? History teaches us that for the masses, every interaction they have with religion has poor outcomes. All kinds of suffering and torment has been brought under the banner of religion. However, for the individual, they might find solace, meaning to their life, dare I say it, even hope. This cannot be governed, washed or taxed. This is why I stand before you tonight, to expose this untruth festering here in Galatry. Let me show you another way. Let me read you this document and reveal the reason for my wage. My wanker, use your head. Let's walk the boat.
Meanwhile, high in the building above, a manicured hand is busily stuffing some choice papers into a briefcase. The red nail polish glints in the light of the flames from the chaos below and lingers over a computer keyboard. An unsolicited email is selected by a dependable finger. You can count on it. This finger double-clicks on the attached document. This hand grips the window frame as the mayor steps out into the void, clutching a briefcase. There is a low rumble, then a thunderous cannonade roar as the ground starts to violently shake, juddering the people below to their knees. Masonry, glass, office furniture and desk signs saying, "You don't have to be mad here, but it helps," are flying through the air. The mayor looks down at hundreds of people on their knees, looking up in a confounded befuddlement, in fear, in awe. She smiles and thinks, "New age fiddlesticks, semper iardum, Galatry, semper iardum." She deftly hovers and then glides away, like a purple star into the night. The council buildings sway for a moment, as if waiting for a sneeze, and then collapse in on themselves, first the high block and then the lower. Thousands of tons of concrete concertina down onto the throng below as a huge cloud of dust shoots up into the sky to fill the void left by the building. The dust cloud shoots outwards along the streets, enveloping all in a grey dirt fog. It consumes everybody. Truly democratic ejector. Ironic considering where it came from. It becomes impossible to see more than an arm's length in the cloud, and anyone caught outside is consumed by its dirty sheath, all looking like spluttering golems from a Magi's dream. The dust cloud hangs over Gallatry now, a brooding shroud, as there isn't a breath of air tonight. Welcome back, dear listeners. Eustace and I are in the safety of the vinyl vault after the earthquake hit. We have fired up the generator and set up an emergency communications HQ to try and keep everyone abreast of what's going on. It's all very confused out there in the dust cloud. We cannot get hold of the chief or anyone from the council, so we might as well go over to the public health centre to get an important update from Dr. Rianne. What's the situation, Doctor?
Leave my stethoscope alone, Mr. Smith. Oh, hello there. I was down here in the morgue when the rumbling started, so I thought I'd better give you a call.
It was lucky you were down there, working hard as ever, no doubt.
Well, actually, I was having dinner down here. I always like a bit of company while I eat. I like the hubbub of chatter of the body bag brigade, subjects, or clients, so to speak. We're having a topical conversation about the level of death duty, and the guys were showing me their bank account details from their wallets, shoved in the morgue's desk drawer for safekeeping. Anyway, we were just playing Guess the PIN number when I heard a large rumble, and everything started to shake. With all the guys dancing around all over the slabs, it was like some of the goth nightclubs I frequented as a junior doctor. What fun!
Doctor, have you got anything to tell our curious listeners regarding the possible health risks of dust, rather than describing your first attempt at the hand jive, please?
All right, Mr. Snippy Pants, I was getting to that. Anyway, I have analysed the makeup of the dust cloud, and well, I don't mean to be alarming, but it's actually quite alarming. The dust cloud is made up of medium-sized particles of concrete dust, about 10 microns in diameter, like a gnat's gnat, so to speak. This poses an immediate risk to anybody being exposed for any length of time. Exposure can cause silicosis, sometimes called miner's lung or potter's rot, if you like. However, I've identified something else in the dust, which is confusing.
Confusing, we asked?
Yes, exactly. How did you know? We found spores from the mushroom, the discombobulating bonnet. The mushroom causes severe confusion and forgetfulness if ingested, and I would expect the same if it was inhaled. I would advise all your listeners to get indoors, out of the dust, away from the mushroom cloud, so to speak, before they are affected. There is something else, well, peculiar.
Peculiar, we asked?
Yes, exactly. How did you know? The discombobulating bonnet is a species peculiar to southern Germany, where they use them to make Ankh sausages with. What they're doing in concrete here in Gallatry, I couldn't tell you, although I fear the worst. I must go now. Mr. Smith is going to touch me intimately, and I'm going to blackmail his family and demand that his will is changed. Only joking. How could he do that when he's in the ossuary?
In the dust fluster, figures creep out of the gloom and bump into one another. The unwashed zombies, the perpetually scared, the florists, the mentally feeble and the civil servants. Everyone is stumbling around, afraid, cloaked in grey murk and very confused, as their memories, their personalities change in the mushroom cloud. Everyone is thinking things like,
am I going to spend my lengthy retirement on the lovely canal network? I want to eat your flesh. You're not going to touch me, are you?
we should all vote. It's our duty, isn't it?
I'm sure we can get them to park 20 quid for this bogus bunch of buttercups.
But soon after bumping into each other, time after time, looking blankly at the next expressionless grey walking statue in front of them, everybody is now thinking the same.
Canal, flesh, touch, duty, buttercup. It's my duty to touch your flesh in the canal, buttercup.
Obviously, some are still more florist than others. Welcome to Gallatry, Buttercup. Thank you, Eustace. Right, we must find out what happened to the Genster. Fetch the rum. It worked last time. Danny Boy calling Jenny Jennings. Do you read? Over. Danny Boy calling Jenny Jennings. Do you read? Over.
Jenny Jennings here. I thought I was Broadsword. Over.
I must have had a whiff of that dust. I'm losing my grip of radio names. I mishandled that. Where are you, Jenny? What's going on?
Well, it was really kicking off down here, I can tell you. I was thrown off my feet in the initial collapse and fell down a hole that appeared at my feet. I rolled down and down and now, well, I'm in what looks like a cavern. We must be directly underneath the council building, or should I say, what was the council building.
Was? We asked.
Yes, the earthquake must have brought them down onto the amassed monks below. It was just as their leader, the Reverend, was going to read something out that a guest had found in the offices. I wonder what he was going to say. I suspect, though, it wasn't a memo about the worrying increase of plonking, mind.
Plonking, we asked?
Yes, plonking, you know, the latest craze from the other side that all the kids are getting into on the civic streets.
Oh, I guess I'm not kids with the down anymore. So what happened then, Jenny?
I walked along in the low-level emergency lights down here until I came to the mouth of the tunnel. There were train tracks leading into the darkness. Strange there should be a narrow-gauge railway under our feet all this time. The real ale fans will be annoyed. Then I saw them.
Then? We asked.
Yes. 3 sentinel-like figures standing there covered in dust, swaying slightly, with vacant expressions like aging festival-goers. I ducked behind a rock and edged towards them for a better view. When I got closer, I could see they were all wearing leather jackets with symbols of the Temple of the Real Goose on.
What happened next, Jenny?
Well, nothing. They're stood here right now watching me talk to you in this bottle. Why don't we get a monk's perspective on tonight's events? Hello, what's your name?
My
name's Arnold, I think, but my monk name is Brother Etruscan Osway Tarantula. It might as well be Monica for all I can remember.
So, what did you see up there, Arnold, or Brother Tarantula, if you prefer?
Well, we were just about to get the, what do you call it, message from the Reverend when the ground shook and we fell under the dust. I stood up and saw the destruction of everything and felt like I'd been here before. It's strange, as my life was very ordered, very ordinary as a kindergarten teacher. Lesson, homework, half-term, alcohol, regret, lesson, police work, detention, lesson, weekend, unproven accusations, investigation. If it reads, we can kill it. And now post-apocalypse wasteland in a leather jacket. It's very familiar.
I know what you mean, brother.
Me too,
piped up Brother Timetable.
So what are you called, brother?
Asked Jenny. Brother Weichman Ptarmigan Timetable. But my real name is Sean, I think. I joined up with the Templars, always had a memory of being a monk, and wanted to get away from my cloistered life into something more, well, exciting, I guess. It's surreal looking at my blackened fingers and blackened tongue here in the dust, and seeing more monks dying up there. I too feel like I've lived this life before, although I have no memory of fancying around golf or ever being a dragon. What do you think, Wubba Sainted Waving Bonnet? Or can I call you Agile?
No, you can't. But yes, brother. I'm getting echoes of former life too. My name was Justin and I used to sell used cars. I liked it. I got the opportunity to randomly meet new people every day and help them get a great deal on a new car from a remote industrial unit. I like my monk name, Bonnet. Did you know that more people go missing while buying a used car than any other big-ticket luxury item and never found again? Anyway, I had to join the temple. I needed a new name. Did you know that 3 boxes of dishwasher tabs would dissolve all the fat from the human body in 24 hours? I never liked wok, mind. I was always a mod. But I have a question for you all.
Yes, Brother Bonnet,
Jenny replied.
When you rescued the mayor, why was she in the wood in the first place? I can understand the why now. He actually lived there. But why was Lorna X there?
Jenny and the other 2 monks, Arnold and Sean, looked at each other, deep in thought. There was a pause. Then Brother Tarantula said, "She was looking for Sarah Connor. I knew I would." "No, you're wrong," interjected Brother Timetable. "She was in the wood looking for a stolen Vulcan bomber under the ocean." Brother Bonnet then said,
Perhaps she was in the wood trying to cover up a secret from her past. Perhaps she murdered someone. I should know. It's common in the used car business. What do you think, Jenny?
Interesting question, Brother Bonnet. It's strange because Donna Penny asked me exactly the same thing the night afterwards over a glass of Cinzano at the King's, open brackets, no, honestly, close brackets, head. She told me that she found a book that explained everything, and it was...
Jenny? Jenny? Danny Sword, come in. Oh, Satan's swanacles, not again. Good morning, dear listeners. The sun is up. It's Matt Bianco time again. A cleansing breeze has cleared the dust cloud away, and we're all clearing our heads from the alleged civic disorder from last night. We're all sweeping up the broken glass, the rubble, the haunting memories of what we thought we once were or will never be or weren't meant to be, and are flinching in the fresh morning breeze of a new dawn. Florist regret is obvious in everyone's guilty eyes today, like an inappropriate drunken liaison with a cadaver's polished bones whilst in a position of trust. You know who you are. The clean-up work is going on down at the site of the council, although we like to call it Ground Nero now, or El Togawi in Latin. There is a makeshift rostrum set up amongst the rubble, but as we're waiting for the mayor to give a statement, I suspect she won't need it anyway. A hush falls over the crowd as the mayor hovers over towards the mic. She is glowing a brighter, more ecclesiastic purple now. As she reaches Hawker Harrier hover height, ideal for oration, she looks over to her left and beckons two unseen persons behind the pile of detritus to come forth. Prentice and Reverend Breadbin walk out onto the rostrum and stand either side of the mayor. She looks forward and lifts her arms out with her palms turned upwards and looks at Prentice and then Breadbin and then touches her chest.
Galatryarians, behold we three, behold the new triumvirate here in Galatry. When I deigned to allow myself to be your deity, my thoughts were to bring together our happy family in hearts, minds, souls. My vision, as you may recall, was to roll up our sleeves and build our Jerusalem. But it seems that one elected representative is not enough. One cannot fulfill all parts. We heard your voice, Babylon. We heard your thoughts, Community Day. We own your souls, Faustus. Although we publicly refer to it as a public consultation exercise.
The mayor looked across at Prentice and continued.
But all of this was done, I realised that we needed more. We needed something to really praise, revere, worship. So my personal journey was to realise a dream I had from when I was a little girl. To be a goddess. When I gave my edict of Thessalonica to merge state and God, this was a mistake. Although I knew it all along, it was, for you, like my parents, a step too far, too soon. You need a shepherd to guide you on this journey to your Babylon, to the light. So after some simple negotiation, I have selected one.
The mayor looked at Breadbin.
Behold, the shepherd of your souls, Reverend Breadbin. Behold the sturdy rod of your law, Prentice. And I, your duly elected mayor, goddess, peacemaker, town builder, heartbreaker. This is the Galatry Trinity, the third way, the three-piece suite of a modern, autonomous, democratic, multicultural government. So we have a triumvirate in place. What now? We need a way to build our Babylon, our future. Galatry's heart is ambiguity, the uncertain, the shadow, the leap of faith from the mundane to the fantastical, the sublime darkness. This is why we are strong. The road to our Babylon will only be hindered by three things. 1. Asking pointless questions. 2. Worrying about tax money spent on grandiose schemes rather than paying your fair share religiously and sanctimoniously. And 3. Asking pointless questions. God once stopped the people of Babel building their tower and scattered the tongues of men to the four corners of the earth to cause confusion. Some see this as a rebuke to man's vanity in the face of the will of God. Others argue that it was only natural that the cradle of civilization needed to spread its bounty, its wisdom, outwards and not upwards. Babel has become synonymous with confusion. Babel in Hebrew means jumble. As we have all the tongues of men from all corners of the earth here in Galatry already, and I am a god, we shall rebuild this Babel tower. A tower of confusion, of ambiguity, of electoral promises. We shall build a ziggurat here on this hallowed ground.
The mayor pointed down, then lifted her arms and looked to the sky and whispered, "A stairway to heaven."
Thank you.
The Reverend nodded, Prentice rubbed his hands, and the Mayor simply smiled. Thank you, Eustace! Wow! What leadership! What eloquence! What a town we will be! Thessalonica? I'm not very musical, but Eustace sometimes plays on the lilonium. On another note, I had a parcel from Donna Penny from the Council's Scientific Department. When I opened it up, there was a book with a note. The note read, "All this was predicted. Look after this evidence. I've resigned from the Council. You and Eustace are the only ones I can trust now. Yours, Donna P." The book was entitled The Observer Book of Forest Hauntings and Mushroom Identification for Nephologists, 2nd edition. She's right. It was all here all along. Under the centenary bridge, the voices rise together in unison from a whisper to a detuned groan. Canal, flesh, touch, duty, butter, cup, God, state, church, law. What is all this for? Use your head, let's rock the boat. Use your hands, let's build a boat. I'm looking forward to the next glorious decade of Babylon here in Gallatry. Again and again. Forever.
You have been listening to Gallatry, a community-funded local radio station. I'm Adam Aardvark. Max couldn't be around at the end of the show. He often needs to lie down in a darkened room and sort of, well, convalesce. If you enjoyed today's show and want to know more or simply express a simple and not very cogent opinion, then email us at welcometogallatry@gmail.com. You can tell us what you think, although we might already know what you think. Or failing that, if you genuinely have no idea, we can helpfully provide some new ideas that you can call your very own. Ideas that you can share with your friends and family and become a much more interesting and likeable person, if only to yourself. This has been a Gallatry Entertainment broadcast recorded in a haunted pub in Gallatry. No, honestly, voices appeared on the recordings that we later had to edit out. I think we got them all, but who's to know for sure? Anyway, Gallatry is performed by Max Black, written and recorded by Max Black and Adam Aardvark. Is copyright Gallatry Productions 2015. Thanks for listening. But remember, on your next journey home, Gallatry may be just around the corner.
Help me, I'm stuck in a phone box. I've run out of petrol. My daughter is almost unconscious.